Emily wrapped her thin jacket tightly around her shoulders, trying to block the cold wind that slipped through the fabric. Her shoes were worn and slightly torn at the sides, and the tips of her fingers were red from the chill. She rubbed her hands together slowly. It had been another long day. Another day of searching. Another day of hearing the same polite rejection. "We're sorry, but we're not hiring right now. You seem nice, but we need someone with experience. We'll call you if something opens up." Emily knew what those words really meant. No one was going to call. She sighed softly and leaned back against the bench, staring up at the glowing windows of the tall buildings across the street. Somewhere inside those offices were people whose lives were completely different from hers. People who didn't have to count every dollar. People who didn't have to worry about how they would pay rent. Her stomach growled quietly. Emily smiled sadly to herself. Breakfast had been a small bagel and a cheap cup of coffee from a street cart. That was all she could afford with the few coins left in her pocket. She reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. The screen lit up with a picture of her mother. Her mother was lying in a hospital bed, smiling weakly at the camera. Emily stared at the photo for a long moment. "Don't worry, Mom," she whispered quietly. "I'll figure something out." Her mother had always told her one thing growing up. "Life can take many things away from you," she used to say. "But never let it take your kindness." Emily closed her eyes and took a slow breath. Across the street, a large glass building towered above everything else. Its lobby doors suddenly opened, and several people stepped outside, laughing and talking as they headed toward waiting cars. Then another man walked out alone. He moved slowly, almost absent-mindedly, adjusting the collar of his dark coat. His name was Daniel Whitmore. Most people in the business world would recognize him immediately. Daniel Whitmore was the CEO of one of the largest technology companies in the country. Newspapers often called him the quiet billionaire. But tonight, he didn't look powerful. He looked exhausted. The long day of meetings, decisions, and responsibilities had drained the energy from his face. His tie hung slightly loose around his neck, and his shoulders carried the invisible weight of years of pressure. Usually, a black luxury car waited for him outside the building. But tonight, Daniel waved his driver away. "I'll walk," he said quietly. The driver hesitated but nodded. Daniel crossed the street slowly and walked toward the small park. The city noise faded slightly beneath the trees, replaced by the rustling of leaves and the distant hum of traffic. He stopped when he noticed someone sitting on one of the benches. Emily looked up briefly but quickly lowered her eyes again. Daniel stood there for a moment, unsure if he should disturb her. Then he gestured toward the empty space beside her. "May I sit?" he asked politely. Emily nodded. "Of course." Daniel sat down carefully, leaving a respectful distance between them. For a few minutes, neither of them spoke. The silence wasn't uncomfortable, just quiet. A couple walked past them holding hands. Somewhere in the park, a dog barked happily. Emily noticed that the man beside her seemed deep in thought. He wasn't looking at his phone like most people. He wasn't rushing anywhere. Instead, he stared at the trees as if remembering something. Finally, Daniel spoke. "Do you ever feel like the whole world is loud?" he said slowly, "but somehow you're still completely alone?" Emily blinked in surprise. That wasn't the kind of question strangers usually asked. She studied his face carefully. There was something fragile in his eyes. Not weakness, but pain. "Yes," she answered honestly. Daniel turned slightly toward her. "You do." Emily nodded. "My mom says loneliness isn't about being alone," she explained softly. "It's about feeling like no one understands your heart." Daniel looked at her for a long moment. Those words struck him more deeply than he expected. He lowered his gaze to his hands. Then, without thinking too much about it, he reached into his coat pocket and pulled out his wallet. Emily watched with confusion as he removed several crisp bills. He held them out toward her. "Here," he said quietly. "Take this." Emily froze. There was $1,000 in his hand. Her eyes widened immediately. That amount of money could pay her rent for 2 months. It could buy groceries. It could help her mother. But something about the situation felt strange. She shook her head gently. "I can't accept that." Daniel gave a tired smile. "You can, but there's one condition." Emily looked puzzled. "What condition?" Daniel hesitated, almost embarrassed by what he was about to say. Then he spoke. "Just hold my hand." Emily stared at him. "What?" Daniel chuckled softly. "I know it sounds strange." He looked down at the ground. "But just for 5 minutes." Emily didn't answer right away. She studied him carefully. People in New York sometimes did strange things. But there was something sincere about this man. Something said. Why? She asked quietly. Daniel took a slow breath. My wife and I used to sit on this bench every Friday evening. Emily's expression softened. Daniel continued slowly. She passed away 2 years ago. The wind moved through the park again, lifting a few leaves from the ground. I kept coming here every week, Daniel said. At first it was painful. He paused. Then it became a habit. Emily remained silent. And tonight? She asked softly. Daniel swallowed. Tonight would have been our wedding anniversary. Emily looked down at the money in his hand. Then at the loneliness in his eyes. Slowly, she pushed the bills back toward him. I don't need the money, she said gently. Daniel looked surprised. But, Emily smiled softly. You shouldn't have to pay someone for kindness. Then she reached out and gently held his hand. It was cold, and trembling slightly. Daniel inhaled slowly, as if a heavy weight had just lifted from his chest. For several minutes, they simply sat there in silence. Two strangers, sharing a quiet moment in the middle of a loud city. And somehow, for the first time in a long time, neither of them felt alone. She sat on the edge of the small couch in her tiny rented room, staring out the narrow window as sunlight slowly spilled across the old wooden floor. Her room was barely large enough for a couch, a small table, and a single lamp, but she had learned to be grateful for it. She wrapped her sweater around herself and thought about the man from the park. His tired eyes, his trembling hand, the sadness in his voice when he spoke about his wife. Emily sighed softly. Poor man, she whispered. She still didn't know his name. To her, he was simply a lonely stranger who needed someone to sit with him for a few minutes. But somehow that small moment had stayed with her. She stood up and grabbed her bag. Today she would try again. Another day of job searching. Before leaving, she looked once more at the photo of her mother on her phone. Wish me luck, she said quietly with a small smile. Then she stepped out into the busy city. Across town, in one of the tallest buildings in Manhattan, Daniel Whitmore sat in his office on the top floor. His office overlooked nearly the entire city. Glass walls surrounded the room, giving him a view of the endless streets and skyscrapers below. Normally, Daniel started his mornings with emails, meetings, and reports. But today, his mind was somewhere else. He leaned back in his chair, remembering the conversation from the night before. Emily's words echoed in his mind. Kindness as a habit. He tapped his fingers lightly on his desk. For years he had built companies, signed million-dollar deals, and led thousands of employees. But somehow, in the middle of all that success, something inside him had quietly faded. Warmth, connection, simple human kindness. The girl on the bench had reminded him of something he had almost forgotten. Daniel suddenly sat forward and pressed the intercom button on his desk. Sarah, could you come in for a moment? A few seconds later, his assistant walked in. Sarah Miller had worked with Daniel for nearly 10 years and knew him better than most people. Yes, Mr. Whitmore. Daniel folded his hands together. I need your help finding someone. Sarah looked slightly surprised. Of course. Who are we looking for? A young woman, he said. Early 20s, brown hair, worn jacket. I met her near Central Park last night. Sarah raised an eyebrow. That's not much information. Daniel smiled slightly. I know, but she applied for jobs yesterday in that area. Maybe at cafes or small stores. Sarah nodded slowly. And may I ask why she's so important? Daniel looked out the window toward the city. Because she reminded me what kind of person I used to be. Sarah studied his face. She had never heard him speak like that before. All right, she said. I'll see what I can find. Meanwhile, Emily walked along a busy street holding a small folder of resumes. She had already visited 2 cafes that morning. Both had politely refused her. Her confidence was beginning to fade again. Still, she forced herself to keep walking. Finally, she saw a small cafe with a sign in the window. Now hiring. Her heart lifted slightly. She stepped inside. The smell of fresh coffee filled the air, and soft music played quietly from a speaker in the corner. A few customers sat at tables working on laptops. Emily approached the counter. A tired-looking manager glanced at her. Yes, I saw the hiring sign, Emily said nervously. I was hoping to apply. The manager looked at her briefly. Leave your resume, he said. Emily handed him the paper. Thank you, she said politely. As she turned to leave, her phone suddenly vibrated. She looked at the screen. Unknown number, she answered cautiously. Hello, is this Emily Carter? A professional voice asked. Yes, my name is Sarah Miller. I'm calling from Whitmore Technologies. Emily frowned slightly. Whitmore Technologies. Yes, Mr. Daniel Whitmore would like to invite you for an interview this afternoon. Emily blinked. I think you have the wrong person. Sarah laughed softly. No, we're quite sure it's you. Emily looked around the cafe in confusion. But, I never applied there. There was a small pause. Then Sarah replied, Mr. Whitmore met you yesterday evening. Emily froze. Her mind instantly jumped to the park bench. The man, from the park. Yes, Sarah confirmed. He would like to meet you again. Emily's heart began beating faster. What kind of interview? She asked carefully. For a position in our company. Emily almost dropped her phone. Your company? Yes. Emily glanced around the cafe again, trying to understand what was happening. Whitmore Technologies was one of the biggest companies in the country. Why would they want to interview her? When should I come? She asked slowly. 2 o'clock this afternoon. Emily hesitated. All right, she said quietly. After the call ended, she stood there for a moment, completely stunned. The cafe manager looked at her. You all right? Emily nodded slowly. I think so. But inside, her mind was racing. That afternoon, Emily stood nervously in front of a massive glass building. Whitmore Technologies headquarters. The building seemed even larger up close. People in expensive suits walked in and out of the lobby. Emily looked down at her worn shoes and simple jacket. What am I doing here? She murmured, but curiosity pushed her forward. Inside, the lobby was enormous, with marble floors and tall ceilings. A receptionist smiled politely. May I help you? I'm here to see Mr. Whitmore, Emily said hesitantly. The receptionist checked the computer. Emily Carter. Emily nodded. The receptionist smiled warmly. He's expecting you. Emily's heart pounded as she was guided to a private elevator that carried her to the top floor. The doors opened to a quiet hallway. Sarah greeted her with a friendly smile. You must be Emily. Yes. Come with me. They walked toward a large office. Sarah gently opened the door. Mr. Whitmore will see you now. Emily stepped inside. Behind a large desk stood the man from the park. Daniel Whitmore. He smiled warmly when he saw her. Hello, Emily. Her eyes widened. You're the CEO. Daniel chuckled softly. Yes. Emily shook her head in disbelief. I had no idea. Daniel stepped closer. And that's exactly why I wanted to see you again. Emily looked confused. Why? Daniel handed her a document. She looked down. Her eyes widened as she read the title. Community Outreach Director. Emily looked up in shock. Why me? Daniel smiled gently. Because last night you reminded me of something important. What? Daniel's voice was calm but sincere. That kindness is a habit. He paused. And people who truly practice it are the ones who can change the world. Emily's eyes filled with tears. In one single moment, the girl who couldn't even afford lunch the day before was being offered an opportunity she had never imagined. And it all began with 5 minutes on a park bench. Dil.